my fellow true sovereign thinkers, LO3's newest podcast. My name is Craig, transmitting from the beautiful swampy mangroves of South Florida. And today's date is Sunday, August 6, 2017. Yeah, actually, I was checking a couple things out earlier today and was watching some stuff in reference to Press for Truth on firearms rights. There's been some controversies going on when people try to defend their property and they get arrested for attempted murder, assault and battery and all that. Well, home invaders and people throw cocktail bombs at their facility. But that's okay, because Justin Trudeau and his half-assed, lackey, pathetic, treasonous Liberal Party, I can't even call it liberal, okay? It's so demented, an unacceptable, diuretic entity. I like to say that to all those folks that are being crucified from the Great War North, my fellow brothers up there. Well, here's a question I have for Justin Trudeau and those cornballs that worship him like he's some god, some pretentious glam boy. How does your tougher gun laws referendum supersedes Article 7 of the Constitution Act of 1982? Okay, it says here, life, liberty, and security of person. Everyone has the right to life, liberty, and security of the right not be deprived thereof, except in accordance with the principles of fundamental justice. So, yeah, it's something to gotta really look at here. I've been watching some of those videos. I posted on Facebook. Go to Press for Truth on YouTube. Check it out yourselves. It's very mind-boggling. And Dan Dix actually warned the Canadians about that. And I can't blame him. But remember one thing, folks. Justin Trudeau is just another bend-over Bob to the New World Order. Because he's young, look pretty, doesn't mean he's friendly. Government in Latin means control of the mind. Okay? And another video came out by H.A. Goodman. There was actually a live feed on Jared Black, who was involved with the Democratic National Committee lawsuit, which is happening in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Interesting interview on that, exposing dumbed down, they've been watching the shows for who she is, a treasonous Gino, plus a patsy to the Clintons, allegedly on that aspect. But like I said before, her voting record is not freedom friendly. Okay? Well, enough of my little rant. I'm going to be focusing on a few things. I'm not going to go too crazy here. Usually I say that and I go overboard. There's nothing really new at all. It's just me. So I'm going to be heading out here from, actually is an activist post, which originally came from Free Thought Project. This one's entitled, Microchipping Humans. First they traded freedom for security, now it's privacy for convenience. Oh yeah, convenience it is. By Claire Burnish, as it reads here, if a steel truth exists in decades of technological innovation, it rests firmly in the convenience provided society. Indeed, while the mother of invention had been long named necessity, a prodigious marketplace bolstered inquisitively by acceptance of planned obsolescence, ensured materialism has supplanted anything honorable as the true American way, whether society's placating soma of an obsession with stuff and things was engineered by a political upper echelons or fell in some nightmarish fluke at the feet of for-the-mouth surveillance hawks, perhaps matters not an iota, considering the state probably has more eyes in your home than does your family. That and plenty appliances, phones, electronics, home cars, kids, toys, and damn near any other objects pervertible for domestic spying takes gall. Like well-oiled cogs, however, even corporate media's condemnation and headlines of the aforementioned apparent surveillance programs exposed by a series of tremendously important leaks and leakers could not sway consumers on the whole to raise as much as an eyebrow. Why this stupefying apathy of multitudinous rights violations perpetrated by the United States government against, well, the planet? Convenience. If America traded liberty for security, it chucked privacy for convenience. To our steep detriment, the state undoubted joy. Voice and type internet searches on any device, putatively private chat conversations on social media, and the ever-popular dual-facing camera to most consumers. These are mere modern amenities. I always try to get this tongue-tied there. Vast leap forward in speed and quality and luxury and so on. Ad infinitum. Privacy and constitutional rights law can't keep pace with the invention in this digital age, leaving advancements open to abuse by both the surveillance and police states, as well as predictable tangle of precedent-setting court cases, each breaking as much ground as the technologies they debate. One technological wolf in sheep's clothing slipped unobstructedly into Europe as an apparent answer to accessibility in the workplace. RFID chips. Woo, yeah. Grain of rice-sized injectable memory-packed protein implants designed to identify the bearer for use of equipment, purchases, logins, and other operations, generally requiring more than a wave of one's implant. Once workers took the plunge, RFID radio frequency identification technology sprang up in a spattering of places, and since we accepted microchips for payment at government-run train stations, as if continuous tech, were well-rooted and time-tested. And just last week, reports a Wisconsin business held a party for workers, volunteered for a chip, set social media into paroxysms over privacy worries, the role and acceptable extent of nascent technology literally in our lives, and only somewhat far-flung fears. The tiny gadget will ultimately fall to malevolent, coercive control to some unknown but obvious untenable end. Such as a scenario is it unfathomable in context. Governments the world over maintain power viciously when control looks most like convenience into populace. Think enhanced security at the major airports following 911 attacks on 9/11, and increased surveillance, tracking, monitoring, the introduction of artificial intelligence, use of biometrics databases, extremist countering programs, and the rest of occupying a scalacious list of state machinations in the perpetual war on terror. Yes, we can. We will sell your freedom for security, and you'll be very convenient out of it. Hallelujah. Can we say, bend over and smile? We will take care of you with a big knife in your back. Both sides of the RFID debate, however, have thus far addressed microchipping as a voluntary action. Yeah, penile microphone. It's the same thing with the Social Security Act, right? Lending in a sense, the forcible implantation concerns have been delegated only to the most suspicious among us, away from the fraught theater of theoretical future purposes. The invasive item might portend. RFIDs cannot track a human being like GPS-enabled device, functioning more like an office key card than homing device. Microchip implants will only retain the data necessary for specific duties, but that hasn't quelled a murmur suspicious that advancement means tracking is coming soon. Of course, they want to sell you something. Oh yeah, it will be safe. It's only just a wet dream. The fact the rollout of RFIDs into the private sector bolstered the PR, an increasing number of bosses already have gently prodded employees to submit to the implant, while distressed employees fret over whether they're next or if a chip for them won't come with the option of saying no and keeping the job. Yeah, like remember that one movie, The Toy, when Mr. Bates told one guy, pull your pants down. And he go, oh, sir, it might cost you a job. He pull his pants down. He says, you can sell his boxer shorts. That's what they probably do here. Pull it down your pants. Okay, sir. Conjecture over the future being vicious exercise infertility. We cannot know for certain if our RFID chips will end use for probable good or bad, but as the chips begin frequenting headlines, vigilance is essential, and unrecovered freedom vanishes only when no one's heeding the signs. Compulsory implantation isn't honestly a grand departure from volunteering for a chip. Factor employer incentives or refusals to hire those who won't submit, and the Financial Repercussions Act in de facto force. Keep in mind interminable list of possible hiccups, chips coming out, being forcibly removed, forcibly implanted, and somehow falling into criminal hands for starters have yet to be thoroughly fleshed out. Of course, don't you get it? Several politicians across the U.S. have introduced legislation to ban forever mandatory RFID chip plantations. Hey, I like that a lot. That's awesome. None of this sought to nor should sway the reader to a specific position, considering that with microchipping of human beings, the decision of body sovereignty must be left to the individual when appropriate. Casual human microchipping might or might not be pervasive down the road. Though in conjunction with the monumental shift from hard currency to digital, the former seems probable, so familiarizing oneself with the technology is now prudent. While jumping to volunteer, as for companies, microchipping guinea pig is indeed an option. Consider history cautionary tales of governments fatally drunk on the power robbed from the masses, who never again reclaim it until decimation of a system. And now, indisputably, we've peered over similar precipices before. Neither wholesale commendation nor blith approval should characterize positions on microchipping until further study can be performed, but a healthy dose of skepticism in matters of the state must always be advised. RFID chips are probably here to stay. Whether it's acceptable must be decided soon. This is a test, and it appears to be going swimmingly. Of course, they're going to try to sell it to you like a lemon car, like, oh, it's such a fantastic thing, it runs like a champ, and you get it, it cocks down, oh, you bought it as is, no warranty. Similar to that. The truth of the matter is, my friends, this is very dangerous. You can lead to tumors and radiation sickness in the body because it's a foreign object. And I do recall looking at myidchip.com years ago, September 11th, maybe before that, it was based out of Applied Digital, it was based out of Boca, but now they moved to Delray Beach to do the body chip, they'll give you $250 for your troubles. So it's like saying, hey, bend over for the New World Order. That's how it is, how we want you to believe. Like, they're trying to do this even in Mexico, at least they're doing this in Mexico if you work for the government. They want you to body chip because of kidnapping and all that stuff. But remember, folks, you own your body, not them, not the government, not the corporations. So you know what? You gotta resist it. Say hell no to this. Plus, what Thomas Jefferson's quote, greatest quote, is, ooh, I gotta crack my back there. Preserving liberty is exercising eternal vigilance. Eternal vigilance is the key to liberty. See, I'm a little bit tired, so bear with me. All right, my friend, that's one right there. Always gotta look at that. Here's the next one. Came from Eurasia Review. It is interesting going on. I've been keeping tabs on this, even trying to watch from NewsBuds. Trying to watch very like been issues there for quite some time. It's like a ping pong ball between India and China. It says here China ups Rhetoric and border road with India. China has stepped this by Pan-Armenian. I like that. Okay, Pan-Armenian. China has stepped up its rhetoric, increasingly tense border road with India, hinting at the possibility of military action, a propaganda push that analysts are calling generally troubling, AFP reports. For more than a month, India and Chinese troops have been locked in a standoff on a remote but strategically important Himalaya plateau near where Tibet, India, and Bhutan meet. And there's a area, the map's on here too, talks about it, from the Indian Defense Review. So we just keep on going here. On Thursday, August 3rd, Chinese Defense Ministry spokesman Ren Gaoqiang warned that Beijing has shown restraint but had a bottom line. No country should underestimate the Chinese forces' resolve and willpower to defend national sovereignty, he said in a post on a ministry website. It is a line that has been echoed almost word for word this week by the Foreign Ministry, the official Xinhua news agency, the ruling Communist Party mouthpiece, and the People's Daily, the official military news website of the Chinese Armed Forces, and other outlets. On Wednesday, the Foreign Ministry released a 15-page document of facts about the border dispute, which include a map of an alleged intrusion, of photographs of what is stated were Indian troops and military vehicles on China's side of the frontier, calling for an immediate and unconditional withdrawal of Indian troops. It warned Beijing would take all necessary measures to safeguard its interests. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Zhang Shang said Thursday that India was building roads, hoarding supplies, and deploying a large number of troops in the area. This by no means a peace, Gang said. So, China Armenians Network is the first Armenian online news and analytical agency. So, interesting there on that. Wow. So, yeah, there's been a lot of issues in that area before, even with Tibet and so forth. But I'll tell you one thing. Well, I guess that's why people say, hey, how come China's not talking about North Korea? Well, to be very sincere, they got their own issues. They've been having riots, protests, clashes with the government, and now they got this with India, which has been disputed on and off for a good period of time. So, tell you one thing, they don't want a war in that area because it will get pretty damn nasty. Alright, so someone made a cool, let me see if someone made a cool comment here about it, right? Yeah, it's like someone made a claim here by Vahida Kumar. Looks like it probably sounds like it's Hindu. China is playing the bully longer term. India is the one country in Asia that counted China's influence in Asia and elsewhere. Projections that by 2050 India would be more powerful than China. They're trying to alter the strategic strength along the Himalaya border. It should not be allowed. So you're going to look at that too. So there's been a lot of friction in that area for a good long time. So there's been a lot of so like I said, man, it'd be hopefully nothing really happens, but that's why China has their hands full as well. Remember, they're run by human beings. I'm not crazy about government itself, so hopefully there won't be the case in that region. All right, well, finally here, this one came from Jason Ditz of Anti-War. His post on activist post. It says here, McMaster, U.S. prepared to launch preventive war against North Korea. Continuing to hype the threat posed by North Korea despite their 2 ICBM tests being eventually conceded to both be failures. National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster insisted that the U.S. is fully prepared to launch a preventive war against North Korea, preventing them threatening the U.S. The threat is a heavily fictionalized version of North Korea's missile program, but McMaster appeared undeterred about the war, said he wasn't going to confirm if North Korea really had missiles that could reach the U.S. before incredibly adding, I mean, how much does that matter? One would think it matters a lot, since the estimate of that a war with North Korea could kill in excess of 1 million people, destroy large portions of South Korea's capital Seoul, and create a region-wide refugee problem in Eastern Asia. Masters is not that war would be costly, but again, that didn't appear to separate his assessment that the U.S. is preparing to attack North Korea preemptively to destroy a missile program that largely doesn't work would be legitimate use of force, saying it would depend on the legal justifications U.S. officials managed to put together. Okay, so the big thing on that, something to really keep your eyes out. There's a lot of chaos happening, and I'm not too crazy about this whole thing with the Korean conflict, North Korea and all that. If people really study their history, how all this started, it's like before 1950, a lot of friction was going on with Korea, then the there's like a parallel, how the CIA tries to stick the nose where it don't belong, in that nation of Korea itself, and it blew back in their faces. And of course, the conflict, which the United Nations, including the United States, were bombing the daylights out of that country. And when they had that truce, they would never take the initiative on rebuilding it. So there's a lot of animosity towards those nations. And everyone said, oh, this guy's a nut job. Yeah, he's a nut job too, but look what kind of lunatics we got in the United States as well and other parts of the world. So there's nothing really new. The whole thing I gotta say is that let the South Korean president talk to him, and they probably hope that they can work it out. Because remember, they're still brothers, sisters, relatives, and family. They haven't seen each other in years along that 32nd parallel, and it will be very unattractive. And even if they do a nuclear attack or chemical attack on South Korea, it will blow. The jets will pick it up, will affect that country as well. No one wants a nuclear war or any form of chemical warfare, etc. Okay, including conventional war. The folks in both Korean nations need to unify and have an agreement that is peaceable and no truce at all, a line without any, toss differences aside and make it do actual honorable trade and relations for other nations. And that is it. I thank everyone for listening. Plus, feel free to download and share this on social media networks. If you have any questions, comments, or you want to send me something that's interesting and I want to check out, whatever you do, please address your correspondences with decorum. I know it's been short, but I don't want to be dazing or sleeping on you guys, all right? You can hit me on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Tumblr, YouTube, Freedoms Network, Scene.life, Minds.com, FutureNet.club, Patreon.com/LokiLuck3, which is all together with 3 eyes at the end. If you want to donate money, be a patron, that'd be awesome. I still got 0, but I'm not complaining. All right? In addition, you can email me at LokiLuck3@gmail.com, or for the encrypted ones, LokiLuckNumber03@protonmail.com. All right, my friends, once again, thank you for your time. Plus, always remember that demoniac resistance is healthy for the soul and can liberate humanity. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Keep on spreading love, and may your guardian spirits be with you.